Hi, friend. Dr. Melissa here, and I'm so glad that you are in the marketing section of Practice Impact Masters Academy. So today in this module, we're going to look at the effectiveness of strategic partnerships, how they can, in a very cost-effective or free manner, really help to build your credibility, your reach, and your amplification in your community while really costing you little to no money at all to get out and build this goodwill and create these referral partnerships for a constant, steady stream of your ideal patient into your practice. So I'm going to pull back the curtain. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you how to do this so that you can begin to really think through this and go ahead and start to experience these same results into your practice. So as we get into it today, we really have to start with the idea of one of the biggest challenges that we continue to try to overcome in marketing, which is how do we get that steady stream of the right patient? So as we go into that, I'm going to go through a few slides. We have to think, okay, if we want a steady stream of the right patient, who is that right patient? You might be experiencing this because a common theme in our practices is, especially if you're in a hybrid model, if you've been doing any type of insurance, as healthcare providers, we've done a lot of taking what we can get versus getting what we want. Taking what we can get is where the insurance company sends to us whomever they want to send to us. Whoever is in the network we're the appropriate provider for. That doesn't mean they're always the right fit. It doesn't always mean they are the most ideal client that we're best suited to help, that really want to be there, that are committed to getting the results, which can ultimately create problems for your brand. If you're not getting the right person in, then their expectations aren't met. If a client or patient's expectations aren't met, then there's a greater likelihood that they're going to go out and give you poor reviews online. And we definitely don't want that to happen. So I want to help you to understand, again, more about continuing to get that right person. And this really goes back to our branding. We went into this in depth in the branding section. We went through that client avatar. If you haven't done that module, it's one of the most important modules that you will do throughout any of this training, as well as the one that follows that, which is on the SWOT process, SWOT. But in this module, we're going to go ahead and once again, look at your practice, look at your marketing, look at this as if you were the patient through their eyes, from their point of view. And when we begin to think from our patient's point of view, we have to realize they're coming into us, not for us, but for themselves. They have a problem, they want a result, they want a solution. And so they come to us if they have heard about us, so if they know about us, for some reason they've determined that they like us and they feel that they can trust us, then they're going to come in to really give them the solutions that they're seeking. So they come in. So the first thing we have to think about, we've talked about this a lot, so this should be a quick answer for you. What problems do you solve? Right? What are those big problems that you solve? Why are people coming into you? Why are they already paying out of pocket? The things that they're buying, what are those? So begin to really tune into the reasons that people are seeking you out most commonly for already. A lot of information in that. And so when you start to think about those big problems that you solve, this is going to actually help us identify who your right strategic partners are. So stay with me, okay? And so we do ask, how do I help? Who do I help? Again, think about the big conditions, big problems that are most frequently coming into your practice. These could be things like ADHD, autism, ASD, anxiety, depression, chronic pain, fibro, neuropathy, diabetes, hormones, weight loss, thyroid, stress, pain, insomnia, you name it, right? The list goes on and on and on. This is not all inclusive, just trying to give you some ideas to really get the wheel spinning. So as you're starting to gain that clarity again, who's coming in most commonly, of those that are coming in, who's more consistently saying yes, following through with care, staying compliant, getting the result, paying for anything else I recommend. So if you recommend additional testing or products along the way, who is that patient? What is that category? Because that's where I want you to start honing in, because that could be your most profitable niche. And again, before we can build those partnerships, we've got to think a little bit more deeply. So as you start to think about who's coming in, where are they spending the money, I want you to think about, of those different groups, who are you most passionate about really caring for? Which of those people that are seeking you out, that generate the most revenue, do you genuinely love? I mean, they're just a joy to care for. Some more than others sometimes. And I use my own experience often that, I had a very successful functional medicine practice where our three big, well, I guess really four, but so it was diabetes, thyroid, autoimmune, and hormones. And so I had a ton of people. I quickly realized that diabetes, even though we had a lot of people coming in, they were not my ideal client. And I didn't want to continue to source them in because they just weren't, nothing wrong with the people, but they just were not the right fit for my practice. They weren't willing to make the changes. They just wanted to stay on their medications. They really weren't motivated. And so although they were coming in, they were doing the first few visits, it was a very frustrating patient because they weren't following through, they weren't getting the results, and they were really blocking up my schedule to prevent the other patients that really were committed and wanted the help to be there. So interestingly enough, we really stopped marketing to that category, and then it left the other three. Now, to the other three, the autoimmune, I loved them, but they were draining. They were so draining for me. At least the patients that I was attracting, they really were requiring so much from me. And although I loved giving it to them, when I looked at just the efficiency and where I felt most fulfilled, that was a very hard client for me to stay really at the top of my energy level to engage with. So I made the decision, okay, that's somebody I help, but that's not my most ideal patient. If I'm going to go build strategic partnerships, and I can have anybody. I love my thyroid and my hormone ladies. I love them all day, all night long. I love these women. And so that was how I whittled it down and made my decision. So same kind of advice for you. I know there's a lot of people that you help, but you're not supposed to help everybody, right? Not everybody is necessarily your best right fit. And that's okay. So if you can wave the magic wand and you can pick it, who's your best patient? Who do you love to care for the most? Who's the most fun? Where do you feel most engaged, most on mission, and most purposeful and passionate or profitable as you're going through it? So now, as you have that in your mind, this is where we come into the 3 Ps, the patience, the passion, and the profits. Kind of where those intersect is your sweet spot of your ideal niche. And like I said, for me, I really came down to thyroid. Thyroid and hormones is where that really resonated. So hopefully you've got clarity on this by now. If you don't, then press pause and really consider these questions. If you're not sure, these are great questions to take to your team. Ask your front desk to do some research, to pull patient files and really look at the data and see who's coming in and why. Look at who's staying compliant. Look where the money's being generated. These are all insights that will really help you to gain the clarity as to where you should focus to truly create that profitable practice that's also joyful for you to be a part of. So as we begin to get this clarity, I'm going to use my example of thyroid. Okay, so as you get the clarity, you might be asking, well, how does this help me build my strategic partners? Well, the more you know about who that right patient is and how you can get more of them, it'll allow you to build better partnerships. Because here's the thing. Once I got clear that it was my thyroid patient, I immediately created that client avatar. And I think that's right here. And again, that was in the branding section. But I knew who she was. And it became so clear to me who she was, what her name was, who she was married to, how many kids she had, what kind of car she drove, what are her hopes, her worries, her doubts, her fears. What is it? Where was she shopping? Where were other groups and businesses that she was already involved with, that she was actively participating at? Because when I started to know all of that, now this is the key part about marketing. Let me go back and show you the funnel. Oh, what just happened? Thanks. It's not working. There we go. Our patients, our potential clients that really need us are out here, right? This is the marketing funnel. This is the top part is really the dating part. This is where we're not yet going on the first date. We're trying to get their attention. So this is where the know, like, and trust factor comes into play, where at the top of the funnel, we're just trying to get their attention. Hi, hey, I'm over here. So they can begin to become aware of you and to be attracted by what you're saying. So that's where, even in the fast start, we really talk about headlines and the power of understanding, hey, here's what I got. Here's how it's going to help, and here's how you get it, right? So, hey, you got a thyroid problem, looking for a natural solution? Click here to help. Click here for this free ebook. Click here to learn more. Call now. That type of thing. So it's a very simple 3-step process, but we get their attention, and then we ask them to take action, to begin to explore with us, right? To find out more about us. That's where they're going to look for testimonials. They're going to watch videos. They want to find out if you're legitimate And then they're going to start to engage with you. And that's when they're going to finally get to a point to say, I think I like this place, this doctor, this practice enough that I want to request an appointment. Now, our partners are literally out in this exact same space. And so, for example, Metabolic Code is one of my partners. I know that they're helping doctors, the same type of clinicians that I'm helping. So they're a partner of mine, and we pair up on some different events and helping to get the word out through their platform about Practice Impact Masters. So just like for you in your practice, there are people that your ideal patients already seeing out there. And if you can understand that, these are the people that you can then look at to create strategic partnerships with. So here's how we do it. Once we know who our avatar is, the whole, everything about them, where they shop, they eat, what activities are they involved in, what do they read, where do they hang out, where do they live, where do their kids go to school, what type of after-school programs are their kids in, who would they talk to, who would they search for online, that's really big, what are their hopes, dreams, worries, doubts, and fears. Again, the more you know, the better positioned you are to truly create those powerful relationships. So now you're going to start to think about who are they already seeing? Where have they gone to that didn't work? Where have they gone to that did work? What other support or resources might they need as a result of the challenge they're dealing with? So, for example, thyroid patients, they're really struggling with their weight oftentimes. And so they're already seeking out trainers and nutritionists. And they've gone to weight loss clinics and it hasn't worked. They've gone to vitamin shops. It hasn't worked. They've tried these different piecemeal things. So I already knew that going in. So I'm like, okay, cha-ching, cha-ching in the sense of that's my light bulb going, my partnerships I want to think about could potentially be trainers and could potentially be nutritionists. Let's say, and I've got some examples coming up, so I'll go into these here in a minute for you. So think about what other recommendations they might already have. And if you're not sure, again, here's some ideas of people that might be seeing your people, counselors, behavioral therapists, general practitioners. They might be going to libraries, schools. They might be part of after-school programs with different county boards, Chamber of Commerce. They could be part of, this is big. Most of the people that are coming into our practices, either for themselves or for their family, are part of support groups and local organizations. Now, support groups like ADHD, autism, parents go out to the support groups all the time. Fibromyalgia, a lot of the autoimmune conditions have big support groups. And I'm going to show you how to find out a little bit more about this in a moment. Nonprofits, meetups, nutritionists, fitness, movement specialists, other natural healers, doctors, and therapists. When you know who's seeing them, you now know who to become a partner with. Let me take a moment, guys, and I'm going to take you over here. I want to help you to understand. So I did an example. I just went to Google, and let me go back just so I can show you. I literally typed in, who should I go to for natural anxiety support? So let's say you're treating somebody, you've got a specialty, but you're really not sure. You're just not coming up with, well, who else might they go see? So then I read through my things. I'm like, oh, this looks interesting. Let me see if I can get some information. So this starts to tell me all about anxiety, and it's telling me what I can do. When is it a disorder? But if I scroll down, what became really interesting is it started to tell me about so here's the different types of anxiety. So now I might even be thinking, man, that's right, man, I'm seeing people with phobias. I'm seeing people with PTSD. So I'm thinking now even more expansively about what the term anxiety means. And each of these subcategories have their own list of support people that people are going to. I know PTSD really affects veterans, right? So perhaps I'm going to go look for local organizations within my community that really serve and support vets. So just some things to think about. Then it talks about self-help. So there's some tools. Okay, they need to take care of their body. Maybe they might possibly look into a gym. There's some self-help tips. Exercise regularly again. They need to be smart about caffeine, train your brain to stay calm. So maybe they're going to go to a meditation center. Maybe they're going to look into that. Treatments. And I can see, oh, here's some therapies. They're going to cognitive behavioral therapy. They're going to exposure therapy. Here's medications. there's self-help groups. Oh my gosh, right? So all of a sudden, if I know nothing, so if you know nothing about your ideal client and who else might be seeing them, just go to Google. Google will help. So now let's say that I want to go, this is a wonderful tool. You can go to meetup.com. And from here, again, let's say that I want to see, I don't want to sign up right now. I just want to see if I can explore. Oops. Somehow I got onto tech. I don't know. That's not what I wanted to do. Oh my goodness, it's really funny. Apparently I'm looking at tech. But let's say that I want to look up health and wellness first and foremost, as far as groups. And now, but let's just say I want to look up, what were we looking at? Anxiety. I'm going to just type that in. And I'm going to see if there's any anxiety groups within 50 miles of where I live. And now all of a sudden, I see Spartan, I see improvement meetup. I don't see anything with anxiety. But let me put in another, what if I go thyroid? Let's see. Let me go to a different area because I'm in a smaller town. Let's go to Atlanta. And let's try that. And let's try that again. Thyroid. I think I'm in the wrong section too, but this is not really working for me right now. I don't know why. This is funny. Autism. All right, here we go. I finally got one. Okay, guys, usually this works really well. And it doesn't always. I mean, it's not perfect, but you can also create your own meetup. So let's say there's nothing for thyroid. That would have been a perfect opportunity for me to create a thyroid meetup. So now I can even become a resource out there to the community of people that would be looking for some support with that. That's not really a strategic partnership. However, it is a lead generation. It is a way that you can become a leader in your community over your specialty and your topic. So anyway, you could go here, you could find out some different groups and where they're at. These could become strategic partnerships, so some of the community organizations. The other places that you can go, you can check things out on Facebook. So all of a sudden, let's just say I want to look at thyroid support group. There it is. Let me check that out. What I love about this, you guys, you find out so much inside of these groups that really allow you to get inside of your patient's head, to understand their hopes, their doubts, their worries, their fears, their solutions that they're searching for. You can go in here, you can listen to the things that they're talking about, you can understand more of the struggles that they're dealing with, and this helps so much in your marketing. You can also find out in these groups, where are they going? Who are the common doctors, the common specialists, the common places that they are being supported by? And again, that's going to help to give you insight and ideas into who might be your key strategic partners. Hopefully you've got a list right now and you're starting to think of who you can reach out. The most amazing place, and I have got Google and Facebook here, where again, need to find out more, think like your patient, we just did that. But for you, from a, professional to professional standpoint, you're looking for these strategic partners. So let's say you're thinking about reaching out to a counselor. If you deal with kids, maybe you're thinking about reaching out to a local tutor. Maybe you're thinking about reaching out to a local women's group because you're dealing with corporate women who have hormonal imbalance and who are under high stress. So again, different things. You can go to LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a phenomenal social platform to find other peers, right? So other professionals. That's the social platform to find those. We just went on to Facebook. We got inside of their head a little bit. I pulled some posts that help you to really understand who you're dealing with. What are their hopes? What are their fears? What are some of the things that they're asking about? How do you connect? We just went to Meetup. Hashtags are so powerful. And I'm kind of bebopping around a little bit because we're talking strategic partnerships. But again, as you move through marketing, you're going to really understand how to dominate the internet space. And hashtags are a very relevant tool. They're a search tool, really, is what they become. So you can go into Google, you can go onto Facebook, you can go onto Twitter, and you can literally put the hashtag and the keyword. So if I put in hashtag autism, hashtag thyroid, I would see a lot of different things come up. So again, these are just ways for you to begin to find out where your ideal patient is at. And once you know where they're at, then you can say, how can I get in front of them here? How can I bring value? You don't ever want to go into these groups and into these places and start to sell them, but you want to come into these places and offer value. In looking at other professionals that they're already going to, like counselors and therapists and other doctors of different types, and personal trainers and different things like that, you still want to come from the standpoint of how can I be of value to you? You and I take care of the same people, and really what's important to me is truly help these people. And I love the work that you're doing. So if I can be of value, if I can come in, if I can be of service, if I can help with a talk, if you'd like to partner up on a community event. So now it's not just like, hey, you send me somebody, I'll send somebody. It's got to always be about the mission. It's got to be about something so much bigger than just having some dollars exchanged at the end of the day. And if we've learned nothing from our millennials, I love this group so much. And if you're in that group, I love you. I love you even if you're not in that group. It's our 18 to 35-year-olds have made such a statement with more than 75 million Americans in that age demographic. Their buying trends show us so much that it's really about what's real, what's authentic, who's speaking to me honestly, who's got my best interest at heart, what's clean, what's good for me, what's going to help me. And it's got meaning. I mean, I love everything now is really about it. When you put the mission first, I got chills thinking about this because it's so true when I'm speaking. When you put the mission first, everything else just falls into place. So when you're looking for strategic partnerships, when you're looking for opportunities to get out in front of your ideal patient so that you can have a steady stream of them into your practice, please don't come from a place of ambition. Come from a place of mission. Come from a place of impact. Come from a place of truth. Come from a place of heart. And you will absolutely make those connections. So when you think strategically about who to build these partnerships with, remember, this is as much about you as it is about them. So you've got a good reputation in the community. Don't just go out and start talking to anybody that you think might have your person. You want to be strategic. Who is in alignment with you, with your mission, with your vision, with your principles about how you approach and care for your patients? You want to find like-minded partners. So, again, think about who's seeing them, what partners you need, who you can be supported with, what potential partners could best support your patients. How can you help potential partners? Why would they want to partner with you? You always got to think about what would be in it for them. What's the easiest and most effective way to establish a connection? A great way to establish a connection is just picking up the phone. It's sending a message on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is great for establishing partnerships. It's a great place to just kind of get the conversation going and reaching out. But the power of a phone call, man, it might seem so old school, but it really works, that person-to-person connection. So you can really vet the group out, but do as much research online ahead of time. So one of our members said, hey, I host a local professional network group, and it's really set me apart as a resource and an expert while building quality referral relationships. Dr. Ellie Campbell, she's phenomenal, one of my dear friends and a peer to all of us. She began years ago in Atlanta, the Integrative Consortium. So she brings all of these different integrated health and wellness practitioners together. She's been doing this since I think about 2005. And so once a month they come together, and we do everything from potluck dinners, case reviews. It's fascinating. She'll bring in cases, or anybody can bring in cases, challenging cases, and we roundtable as professionals, as peer-to-peer. But you make so many great networking connections within that. She started that. She's been a leader in the Atlanta community among integrative professionals for over a decade. You can do the same type of thing in your area. Really set yourself out apart. It's a phenomenal way to build those strategic partnerships. In my own practice, what we did is we actually went out and formed strategic partnerships with Whole Foods. And so we went in there and we began weekly shopping tours and monthly educational events with them. So they would come out to our practice, we would go into their facility, and we did cross promotions. They marketed things for us and our events. It led to cooking classes with them. We really built it into some pretty phenomenal things. And again, in-office events. Then we went to Kroger's, we went to Trader Joe's, we did the same thing with Publix, with Costco. They've got the whole Shop with a Doc program. And we did it with Uncle Mattio's. Now, we chose these larger brands because A, they've got notoriety. And if you leverage your brand that's maybe less known with something that is more known, that up levels you. And we picked brands that specifically had value to our patients. Like Uncle Mattio's, for example, they had a whole gluten-free, they had gluten-free options, they had dairy-free, they had organic, they had grass-fed, free-range. So the quality of the food that they had in their fast casual establishments was perfect. So, part of when somebody comes into a functional wellness practice, we're asking them to make lifestyle changes, but that's sometimes not easy for them. And when you have go-to partners like an Uncle Mattio's, we were able to give them a go-to resource when they're out, they don't have time to cook at home, where we knew that they could go get great food at a great price. It was really healthy for them, and we produced those results. So it was a win-win strategic partnership. They marketed us, we marketed them, we did our Going Gluten-Free class in one of their businesses, and then we did it around the city. So you can think big with this. And again, it's bigger than just a one-to-one referral. When you create community, when you move from mission, the results just become so amazing over time. Here's another one, another member advised. I have a great partnership with several local therapists, tutors, and counselors because they deal with children. This particular member does a lot with ADHD. And they deal with children, and they refer in often to my practice and likewise back and forth. Another doc said, hey, my strategic partnerships developed when I just write letters to all of my new patients, general practitioners. So whatever doctors they're already going to, that specific provider this is old school, right? I mean, man, we forget about the simplicity, but the beauty of just writing a good old-fashioned letter. So they write a letter out, they send some cards, they make themselves available, they introduce themselves, they offer an opportunity to grab some coffee sometime, and that's really built some very, very successful cross-referral relationships. So it's been fantastic. Another one said, hey, I'm a platinum sponsor partner of our local autism nonprofit group. This has given us direct entry to our target audience. It's taken time, but we're now, after a year, receiving steady referrals, and it's helped our practice to stand out as a leader. Now, this is great. So for this particular practice, they did a lot with autistic children, as you can tell. So they said, you know what, we're going to put money, we're going to invest our time, our energy, and our efforts, not with all these different races and health fairs and schools. And I mean, you could do events until you're blue in the face, but just because you can, should you? Not necessarily. This group understood that. They said, we're going to go right to our sweet spot, right to our niche, and we're going to invest in that partnership. And it took a year, but that partnership really paid off. And now they get a steady stream of their ideal client all the time. And it's really leveraged them as a leader in the community. So these are strategies. These are real things that our real members are out there doing, and you can too. So, once you make the connection, again, begin to think about the ways that you can co-collaborate. That's where I keep saying, make it about mission, make it about bigger than just the one-to-one. Think about how you could connect on co-collaborating on local events or expos or workshops or talks, Q&As, lunch and learns, movie screenings, fundraisers. Fundraisers are amazing. Again, when it's something that you can give back to your local community and you can center it around your niche, around your specialty, and leverage yourself as that leader, it's amazing. It's a win all the time for everybody. It gives so much back, and it continues to really amplify your reach. So again, makes it bigger, and it puts you at the center so that you can truly be continued to be recognized as the go-to expert. And that's what we're here to do, help you really get these results so that you can make that impact, create the practice and the life that you love, and really, really help transform the health and the lives of your patients in the community that you serve. So we got to get started. Okay, I've done a lot of talking. I hope that your brain is really thinking, but don't just listen. I want you to go put this into action. So now I need you to go ahead and write down pick three strategic partners. And if you got more, then great, but I want you to have at least three and ask yourself, okay, great, here's our niche. Who could be some phenomenal strategic partners? Who could we co-collaborate with? Who would be so much fun to do events with? What could we get behind? And how can we begin to cross-refer? And do a little research online if you're not sure. Make your list. You got to share it with us. I want to be able to help you to celebrate this. This is huge. I can't tell you how many other practitioners this has helped, and it will help you too. So just remember, results start when you do. So when you get clear on who you help, on why, and you let your mission lead the way, then it becomes really easy to understand who those strategic partners should be for you to go out and make contact. Lead with them what you respect. Don't just be like, hey, you want to refer? Again, let them know what you respect about them. Let them know how much you appreciate them and their work, and help them to understand that you hold a shared mission and that your desire is to connect and to support your patients together, because you're both helping the same people, and you feel that together you can do even more. You want to bring value to them. Okay. So follow up with a handwritten letter, get personal, show that you care. Refer someone to a partner. Don't wait for them. Don't be like, well, when they send me somebody, I'll send somebody to them. Refer somebody. If you know of a phenomenal therapist, another doc, a nutritionist, a trainer, somebody in your area that you just know this person can really help my person, then refer and go ahead and then pick up the phone. Even if you've never met this person, hey doc, I did some research on you. I've got this patient and I referred them over to you. They'll be coming. I just really wanted to say, thank you, let you know what's going on over here. If you've got any questions, reach out. Now, I've personally done this, and I'd reach out to doctors that I never knew otherwise, but I really researched them online. I researched their testimonials. I researched their site. I researched everything about them, all their ratings and reviews. And if I felt they were a right choice, I sent my patient over. And they always wrote back or called back with such gratitude and appreciation. So that's another nice way to build that bridge. Don't always make it about how they can help you. Be of value first. Build those partnerships out of goodwill, and they'll just continue to come back to you tenfold. Let's see, not to do business, but to build a relationship and explore the possibilities. Yeah, this is really, really important. You're not out to build strategic partnerships to build your business. You're out there to build value. You're out there to leverage your expertise. You're out there to become something more than you already are by having this large network that it's not any one referral partner is going to make or break your business. But when you've got this beautiful network, that's when your business really soars. So it's about really building those relationships. And like all relationships, they've got to be nurtured. Okay. So once you reach out, continue. It doesn't have to be every day. It doesn't even have to be every week, but on a regular basis, stay in front of people. Fridays are always a great day to follow up. Everybody's happy it's Friday. It's the weekend. They're more receptive to take phone calls, to check out emails, especially if it says something fun, just thinking about you, checking on you, hope you're doing great. So make it personal. Don't always make it very stiff and stale. And these are real strategies that will help you to create those real relationships that will create lasting results. Now it's your turn to take action, my friend. So get to it. This is wrapping this section. If you've got questions, just go ahead and email us. I'll bring it up on our Q&A call. We're here to really help you so that you can get the most from this. And as always, I'm Dr. Melissa. It's time for you to take action. Really, strategic partnerships, man, I'm telling you, this is it. You don't have to spend any money. Just take a little time. Go make this happen. Build your business. Let me know how it's working for you. So until next time, you know what to do, right? You're going to continue to stay amazing and go make your impact. I'll see you later, friend. Bye-bye.